So welcome to our new series on the channel. We're going to be talking about the World Cup and all kinds of controversial calls and really good goals within the first few matches of the World Cup.
Yeah. Okay. So, first off, to start this exciting 2018 Russia campaign was the Russia opener versus Saudi Arabia.
So the opening already being 5-0 just to start off against Saudi Arabia almost made Russia the team to beat in Group A.
Yeah. The Group A is going to be very tight after a 5-0 win for Russia. Russia with some great goals, including that opening header, just absolutely amazing. And can't believe that perfect outside the left boot curler top right.
You have to also believe that the atmosphere is going to have a big impact in how Russia performs in this World Cup as well.
Yeah, the home fans of Russia, astounding. You can't even believe it. It's such a great place to have the World Cup. And I'm sounding like I'm selling it too.
Love this World Cup, guys. Great place for it. Yeah, I'm excited to see how well Russia performs in the rest of this World Cup.
Do you think they're going to get to the knockouts?
I think they will get to the knockouts.
I think so too. I think maybe if there's a little Putin action in there, they may get a good draw in round 16. I'm saying Russia goes down to the quarterfinals because I think that they will not only get, I don't know, because the round 16 draw is all.
Yeah, I'll say round of 16. I can't imagine that they're going to beat some of the top competitors because all they did was, I mean, they 5-0'd Saudi Arabia, but
yeah,
that's
but Saudi Arabia is
yeah.
But I do think they will get to the quarters. Oh yeah, Uruguay Egypt. Okay, good game. It was started out looking like Uruguay should have, regardless, Uruguay should have won. Egypt, stupid decision with Salah. You know
that was very controversial. Was Egypt's Salah call, because if he was out there, they would have had obviously more offensive pressure against Uruguay, and I believe they would have scored within the first or second half.
Yeah, like
within the game.
The Uruguay's chances were just like, what are you doing? Like, I think it was Cavani. I know Suarez had one. They just missed some open goals.
Took 89 minutes to score one goal.
Yeah,
when they have Cavani, Suarez, and all these really fantastic players against a weak Egyptian defense.
Yeah, and Jimenez just came in clutch with that header in the 90th or 89th or something like that from the free kick. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like Uruguay could be a bit of an upset if they keep on playing this way, because like Egypt was, their only good players are maybe El Neni and Salah.
And speaking of last-minute goals, the Iran versus Morocco match was very that was just, oh my god.
It was just a horrible. I feel bad for the guy. We looked up his name. We have no idea how to pronounce it.
It's some weird name, you know.
We have no idea.
Try.
So, but the poor guy was. It was bad game. Morocco had so many chances going through.
So did Iran.
Yeah,
though.
Iran had quite a few chances.
Yeah, in the very beginning.
To get a point up, but Morocco, they subbed on the defender, I believe, whatever, and he and it was I believe it was a free kick. I forget if it was a corner or free kick, but it was in, and then he tried to dive header pass and he just put it into his own goal. And it's like,
that's a rip.
Yeah, Morocco, like that was like they need that point against against Iran. But now Iran, I don't know. It's a spicy group. Portugal looks like they may top it with Ronaldo, but you gotta think, like, even though like it felt like Portugal even won that Spain game that we'll get to later, but he carried them out of it like on his back.
I'm interested to see if Morocco could actually go farther in Group B. You know, if there's like an upset or something like that. So speaking of Group B, we also have the Portugal and Spain game, which was very fantastic. Obviously, Spain played more like a team, and then it was basically Spain versus Ronaldo. Although Portugal did play a good game, given that they tied Spain 3-3.
Okay, and now we have this conversation. We don't know. There's been so many good goals, and especially in that game, there was the two that we're thinking about and you're thinking about. It was that Ronaldo free kick.
And the Nacho Fernandez volley.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about that. I went insane when Nacho put that bottom corner. Like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like it would be a little bit more, like, starstruck. Like, everyone's sort of, like surprised if it was, like... Well, everyone was surprised because it's a freaking defender putting it, like, on a volley. But, like, I feel like everyone would have been a little bit more, like, oh, that's a little bit lucky if you put it, like, top corner. But, like, that bottom corner, it hit post and went to the other side.
Yeah, it was a great shot. And for a defender to take a volley like that from just outside the box is just phenomenal.
Yeah. And then there was that Ronaldo free kick. And personally, I was rooting for Spain, sort of.
Same.
But, like, I don't even, like, you could see him stand there and, like, right when he, like, readjusted his footing was, like, yeah, this is going in.
Although a lot of people believe that Messi is the best player in the world, which I do agree with personally. Ronaldo played a fantastic match, and nobody can, change the fact that he's still an incredible player, 'Cause a lot of people claim that, him being higher rated than Messi in a lot of the FIFA games isn't correct, but he is a great player, and people, I feel like, should understand that more.
Yeah, and we're lucky to even be in the same time period as the two. Anyway, but also speaking of the Spain and Portugal game, David De Gea had maybe the most curious game of his career.
That second goal for Portugal.
Oh my god! Like, like I can see like how he let it in because it's Ronaldo. Although he is on his weak foot, he still has like probably one of the strongest legs in the game, and he just smashes it. But like, come on, De Gea. Like, all you have to do is just pick up the ball. Like, I know we're not goalkeepers. We don't know how it all works. But like, come on.
You make a mistake every now and then. Curious. But yeah, I believe that David De Gea did not have a curious-like game. He let in one bad goal.
Yeah, but
he still played decent.
Yeah, he did play good. That it was just the one goal really. He couldn't really have done anything. Well, he could have, but the penalty was a penalty. You can't really judge keepers that much on a penalty unless they like let it through them.
Yeah. And now on to France and Australia. That was a great game, ending 2-1. But I just want to say, people will say that the Pogba goal was very lucky. I thought it was awesome. The fact that he made it through the entire Australian defense, just passing through his teammates. Yeah, passing through his teammates and then finishing bar down was impressive.
Like, it did take a deflection off the Australian defender, though.
Yeah, it did take a little deflection, but he still finished top, bar down and stuff like that, and made a bunch of phenomenal passes and just a ton of give and goes. He created the entire play and finished phenomenally, and I believe that he won the game for France. And
yeah. I do think, though, that Australian team is going to look good against all the other teams in the group because that team, I believe it's Denmark and Peru are also in that group.
Mm.
Okay. But they're going to be great because you could see they deserved at least a point. I would say from the second penalty, Australia's penalty that they put in, up going until maybe 70th, I don't really remember, up until around where Pogba started getting forward, they could have won that game. It was just, I think I don't know how they have Tim Cahill. I don't know if he was playing that game, but I don't know how their threats are in the middle, but their crosses just weren't leaving the ground really, and it's a shame because I feel like they could have done better.
More. I really think that Australia will make it to the knockout stage, maybe even maybe to the quarterfinal. I think they're a very strong team, and they're going to prove a lot this World Cup, and maybe possibly win one in the future.
Yeah.
Far future. I kind of regret saying that right now.
Put money on it. Socceroos, yeah. And like penalties, the two penalties were pretty much given. Like they both were fine. I don't think there's anything controversial about those two penalties.
Both penalties were they were rightful penalties.
You could argue that the Griezmann penalty was a little weird because he was like outside the box on the first trip, but then he got tripped again in the box. So I'd say that's like it's still penalty. Still a penalty.
Now on to my favorite match so far in the early stages of the World Cup, the last match that we're going to be talking about today, and that is the fact that Iceland pretty much won, but ended up tying against Argentina. So the announcers also said it themselves that Argentina has more people enlisted in playing soccer than Iceland does in their entire population. So that's pretty insane. The fact that Iceland can draw a team like Argentina. And I really hope Iceland goes really far because I want to see more of that.
Yeah, if there's
like
anyone else I want out of the group with Argentina. Oh, it's so tight because Croatia has got that midfield. Nigeria's got
the sick kits,
Yeah, both teams, Croatia and Nigeria, sick kits. And I just want to see them more games.
Argentina has some nice kits too.
Yeah, they do.
To be honest, I don't really care who wins out of that.
Yeah, and then Iceland, like if Iceland goes even to the round of 16, it's like, can you believe it?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Just that Iceland, as a team that no one's really heard of until the UEFA Euro Cup 2 years ago, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever heard of them until they beat England 2-1. But then they got whooped by France, but we're not going to talk about that. Yeah, but I just think it's really cool that Iceland, like a small country, because they want it more than everyone else does, and I really hope they go really far.
Yeah.
On to one of the most controversial calls in the World Cup so far, and that was the Messi kick. Although it did not make the Messi penalty kick, although it did not make that much of a difference given that he missed it, it was still a very controversial call made by the ref. So what do you think about that?
I think that it's so hard to judge because I think that the Icelandic defender was just sort of chasing whoever the Argentinian player was, and the Argentinian player had like a longer gait, I guess, and his leg sort of almost hit into the Icelandic player. I don't think if I was the referee, I wouldn't have called it. I think it was just a happy accident.
See, I believe I would have called it because even if his leg was bigger than the Argentinian player, he made contact, and the Argentinian player did collapse in the box. So I would definitely call that a penalty.
Okay.
So the other thing about the penalty is the fact that Messi hasn't been missing a lot of penalties lately, but it seems for Argentina he has been missing a couple of penalties when they really need them. In the Copa America in 2015 and now in the World Cup in 2018. So, but this one was more a great save by the Iceland keeper.
Yeah, like when we were watching it here, everyone was like, "Oh my God, the Icelandic keeper!" I forget his name. Was it Finn?
I have no something that ends in
I feel bad because I was just like trying to remind myself earlier, and I'm like, can you imagine what that feels like? I think I was watching a Haiti versus Argentina friendly, and I was like, Messi had a penalty. He ended up putting it in, but I'm like, could you imagine what that Haiti keeper like? He's from like not very
the best player in the world.
Yeah, not a very good country, and he's playing Argentina. And could you imagine what that feels like? He's going to be telling his grandkids that he saved a penalty against Lionel Messi. And now the Icelandic keeper goes out and do that to get like this like draw. And I think the announcer made a mistake on the English commentary, and he said that Iceland won 1-1 against Argentina.
Saw that.
And it's
they did, though.
Even though it actually wasn't, it definitely felt like it. I can imagine that's exactly what it felt like for Iceland.
Yeah, I just if Iceland's keeper played phenomenal. And if he continues to play like that, he could be definitely a contendee for the Golden Glove in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Anyway. He's going to Liverpool. They need a new keeper. Carey sucks. Wait, what? Alright, so, Anyway, we are going to end it on that note. There have been no World Cup games as this has been recorded, and this series should continue throughout the World Cup, and even after the World Cup, we'll continue with stuff during.
Transfers.
Transfers, my bad.
Yeah, and we'll do this maybe I would say once a week, going throughout the World Cup. It'll obviously be much shorter, focus on the games, and much same run time maybe. I'm not sure how long this is going for, but we're going to try and keep it to a sort of distinct time and
certain games at this point we're not gonna talk about certain games because then the video will be too long. Because with this entire week, there's probably be like 20 matches or something like that. We'd be here for like hours talking about them all.
So we're gonna slow down, and we'll definitely mention every match. Maybe not go into depth though.
And we'll be very excited to commentate the game tomorrow, Mexico and Germany.
Yeah, and it's, if you want to know the time, it's just 14 minutes into the Denmark-Peru game, I believe. So that's why we are not talking about that, and we don't have any updates on scores. So, to end it off, I'm Nick.
I'm Dan.
And GG United.
Rules. We're not supposed to say that?
Touch fingers.
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap!
Don't do it!
Get up and walk away.
Yeah.